Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome to the another video of Swift interview series. Today we're going to talk about a very basic yet very powerful concept in Swift. This is asked in a hell of interview questions. Let's get started. The question: what is the difference between a variable, an optional, and an implicitly unwrapped optional? Well, I'm very sure we all have used all these kind of properties so far in a Swift programming. But have you ever thought that this could be a very potential interview question as well? Well, look at these three options. Variable A, which is of type string, variable B, which is of type optional string, variable C, which is of type implicitly unwrapped optional. Now, the interview might try to confuse you here a bit, right? Okay, the first question, pretty simple one, right? Is A an optional in statement 1? Can we set it to null? Of course, you would say that there is no question mark in front of string in statement A, right? So, of course, this is not an optional. Easy one, right? Okay, let's move to question 2. Is C an optional in statement 3? The C, it has an exclamation mark here. You would rather argue that this is not an optional, but if we go as per the Swift convention, this is also an optional. The definition says it is implicitly unwrapped optional. I'm not sure if you have looked at the way optionals are implemented in Swift. If you look at the optionals, right? So the optionals are implemented as enums, right? And of course, they are implemented as generics as well. And they've got two cases. One, of course, they could have some value. And another one is none case, none. So just to answer this question 2, is C an optional in statement 3? Yes, of course, C is an optional in statement 3. Okay, the follow-up question would be, can C be set to null? Now, since we have already answered that yes, C is an optional, so yes, we could set C to null as well. So if I try to set null to C, you would observe there is no compile time error. I'm able to successfully compile the code here. So yes, I could set it to null. But if I'm able to set it to null, then what is the difference between variable B and variable C? Now this is the catch. Now when you try to access C, that is where your program would crash. So now if you say, okay, C's value is, C's value is C, and then if you try to run the program, you would observe your program crashed here. The reason, because C is an implicitly unwrapped optional. Okay, how to decide between B and C? Now, from the developer's point of view, there are two C's which are very important. One is clarity and another one is convenience. So when we want to have more clarity and when we want to have more convenience, we go for variable C. But we have to be very sure of the fact that we are not accessing null value at any single point of time. Otherwise, the program will boom. The program would crash. Moving on to the next and the final question, which is very important. How will you decide between A and C? Now, A is a normal variable. It is not an optional, while C is an optional, right? So how will you decide when to use A and when to use C? Of course, A is not an optional, but C is an optional. So if we go as per the definition, right, during any initialization phase of a class or a structure, all these stored properties must have a value. Now, at any instant of time, if you believe that, okay, your property might not have a value, then you are forced to go with option C. I'll take a very small example. When we draw outlets from the storyboard to a class, right, you would observe they're automatically implicitly unwrapped optional. Why are they implicitly unwrapped optional? They could be a normal variable, right? No, because when a class is being initialized, there is no value to those outlets. And that is the reason those outlets are implicitly unwrapped optional. Thank you so much.